Hi everyone, welcome to Digital Media Strategies. I'm excited to start this course off with each one of you. Let me first tell you about the inspiration for this course. It was 2008, I attended a Public Relations Society of America conference, and it kind of opened my eyes to this new media world that we were living in. Twitter had only been out for 2 years. It was not well known of at the time. Facebook had only been around for 4 years. And of course, the way that we were using Facebook back then was much, much different than the way it is used today. So I heard all these different speakers present, and I found this book by David Meerman Scott and read it and was inspired to start this course, to build this course and to start it. So we started with the very first edition of The New Rules of Marketing and PR by David Meerman Scott. And now we are in the 6th edition of this book. It's a wonderful book. It really did inspire me to start this course, and the text is something that you need to have in your collection. It is conversational, it is practical, it is full of great examples, and it's inexpensive. You can get it on your Kindle for only $13 or in paperback from Amazon for only $18. So please get it. You will need this book for the class. We will be relying heavily upon it. And it's just an excellent book. It's one that I recommend. I have alumni or professionals in the field that will talk to me and say, what books do you recommend that I read to keep up and to get ahead of where I need to be? And this is the first book that I always mention. So let's first talk about what is digital media. Digital technology refers, of course, to the tools that we use, the internet, websites, smartphones, tablets. It also, though, includes the applications, the information that is on those devices. It could be all the social media sites, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Pinterest, all of those. It's blogging, it's online video, it's podcasting. The whole field has just grown and changed so much in the last even 10 years. So pretty much it's completely changed our world. Not just the social media, but also the technology that we have. We pay our bills now online. Sometimes you find someone to date online. You take college courses online, which we started 10 years ago, but it was still relatively new. We interact with each other. It has really changed the way that businesses and organizations communicate with their customers, both their current and their potential customers. So let's talk about Groundswell. This is a different book, another good one that came out in 2008, but it kind of describes what happened during this time as a spontaneous movement of people using online tools to connect, to take charge of their own experience, and to get what they need, whether it's information, support, ideas. That's where they get their products, bargaining power. They get it now from each other. So they call this the groundswell. It's a social trend where we get things from each other rather than having to get something from a corporation or maybe a traditional institution like we used to do. So before the web, before we hit Web 2.0, we really, as an institution, an organization, a business, a company, you pretty much had 3 options as far as how you're going to get the word out to your target audiences. One, you could buy advertising. Of course, advertising is expensive. A lot of the larger corporations can do that. They have the budgets for that. But your smaller restaurants, they don't have the budget to do that as much. They could get third-party ink from traditional media, so they could use those traditional PR techniques to try to get media coverage. They could find newsworthy information to send out and hope that their local TV station or their local radio station came out to cover them. Or they could hire a huge sales staff and just start bugging people. You know, they could have people knocking on doors, making phone calls, sending out direct mail to try to get their information out that way. But the tools that we now have available to us have changed. Now we don't have to buy or beg or bug our way into an opportunity to talk to our target audiences. So it's changed a lot. Now, we can target our niche audiences directly. We can publish interesting content and we can deliver it when they want it. We don't have to interrupt a TV show anymore, or come to someone's door and knock on their door and interrupt their evening dinner or call. So now the way that we deliver that information, the way that we connect to our audiences has changed greatly. So let's look at all of these things. So it's important for us to learn how to leverage the potential of the internet for large companies, for nonprofit organizations, for brands, for individuals, for colleges, any of those things. So the key to think about is to develop relationships with your target audiences. You can find ways to reach your target audience that you weren't able to do before, and you don't have to do that with big budgets. People want authenticity. They do not want spin. They want to participate. They don't want propaganda. So instead of causing that one-way interruption into someone's life, marketing and PR now is about delivering content when and where people want it. The precise moment that someone is saying, I need to look at what college I'm going to attend. And so they start searching colleges in their area that have programs that they're interested in. And buyers want that information delivered to them in words and information that they understand. It needs to be conversational and easy to use. It can't be too complex. And social networks help us do this. We can do that, communicate with people all over the world, and we can target people directly. So the idea now is to develop relationships with an audience, and that should help your organization connect and to get customers in the long run. The next thing is to develop and deliver useful content at the precise moment that a buyer needs it. So the web is different. Instead of one-way interruption, the web marketing is all about delivering content at just the precise moment when someone's searching for it. So it's about interaction, information and education, and choice. Someone can decide whether to go to your website or click on your link or not. So if your company is providing great content, they become a trusted resource, and people will start to buy or subscribe or apply to work at that place or to donate to that nonprofit. And also that great content means that people will return over and over again to your website or to your social media. They will want the information that you're providing to them. So it's not about hype, it's not about spin, which PR truly never has been about those things or should be about those things. Maybe marketing has, but not PR. It's about delivering content when and where it is needed. So that's what we'll be looking at during this course, but a few other ideas I want you to know before we finish out the talk for this week. Some ideas is this idea about the long tail of marketing. This term was popularized by Chris Anderson. And it's a theory that says that instead of trying to get that huge hit that everyone wants information about or wants that product, that you want to have a large number of niche hits. So let me go to the next, or let's look at this infographic here. So you can see that coffee, that's very broad. It could be a big mainstream hit. But then the long tail is you're getting more and more specific with your words and what people are searching for and what you are trying to communicate and what you're trying to use to reach your audience. So it could be coffee beans, then you get more specific medium roast coffee beans, vacuum pack coffee beans, and then medium roast coffee beans, vacuum pack. It's a lot of that, of course, is the way that we do searches today. But if you think about this theory, you can look at Amazon. Has thousands, millions and millions of products, and you can get so specific with what you're looking for when you're searching on Amazon, and then you're delivered to the audience, to the people that you want to connect with and to receive that information. So the long tail of marketing is something that I wanted you to be aware of. Your book talks about it a little bit. There's a whole course could be done just on that topic. So it's something that you need to just be aware of and know what that means. Also, citizen journalism. This now is where, since we're in the media field, we need to know about this. This is where the ordinary citizens are collecting, reporting, analyzing, and disseminating news and information. And they're trying to do it with independence and trying to be reliable and accurate. It's a very democratic way of getting our news. So now you can, if you are a PR person or a media person, you can connect with citizen journalists and use them. It's kind of like bloggers, small websites, and you can bypass some of those traditional huge media outlets and can communicate through them as well. Next is consumer-generated content. This is digital content that is sometimes picked up and reprinted or referenced by professional media. A lot of companies are doing this these days. The Groundswell authors talk about that media isn't now boxed into rectangles called newspapers or magazines or TV sets. People connect with other people, and they're drawing power from that. And so they're getting that crowdsourcing information, and they are communicating and getting the message out in different ways, and not just through the mainstream media. So here's an example. Starbucks had a white cup contest. This was in 2014. So as part of the contest, customers were asked to doodle a creation or creative drawing on their cups and submit pictures of what they designed as their entry. And so then whatever won would be selected as a limited edition new Starbucks cup. The contest lasted for 3 weeks. About 4,000 customers participated, and they used the hashtag, and the campaign generated a huge amount of publicity and social media activity, especially on Twitter, for Starbucks. And in addition to that, a lot of other media outlets started writing stories and covering and doing videos and covering stories about this. So it got even more publicity and more information and more eyeballs as well. So that's an example of consumer-generated content, and we're seeing a lot of that these days as well. So now, one thing to think about is, in the past, a communications professional pretty much just had to rely on the things on the left. They had to do media relations, promotions, manage a reputation, writing, fact sheets, news releases, employee communications, advertising, special events, etc. Now, the whole landscape has just expanded so much, which is a great thing. It gives even small companies, small businesses, nonprofits, the ability to get their message out. It also, though, means that a media person has to be skilled in so many complex areas now, and has to be able to maintain so many different things and not just a news release. So now you can include podcasting and online videos and search engine optimization and blogs and mobile apps and viral marketing, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, website. All of those things are things that a communication person has to work with and deal with today. So the landscape has really changed. And one thing I want to leave you with is that the key to change is the user. So the user is now engaged. They're looking for information that they care about. We're experiencing fragmentation and customization. So your organization has to speak to one person at a time and not too many at a time. So you can't just relate that all through the traditional media. So it's time to change from having a lecture to having a conversation. So to close, I want us to watch this video. Let's see if I can get it started here.